The TB-10 Tobago and TB-20 Trinidad are both light aircraft built by DAHER-SOCATA, now a subsidiary of Airbus Group, since 1975. They are popular with many flight schools around the world, especially in Europe. Just Flights have released their own rendition of the aircraft, and in this review I will be going through the features of it. Installing the aircraft from FS Pilot Shop is simple. You are provided with an activation key and a zip file which solely contains the installer. Select your installed simulator and the aircraft is ready to use. Within the FSX directory, there is a newly created Just Flight folder and a subfolder named TB-10 Tobago and TB-20 Trinidad. It contains a paint kit, tutorial flights, and a 143-page manual, extremely detailed and comprehensive. The only major difference between the two aircraft is that the TB-20 has retractable landing gear, whilst the TB-10 is static. Just Flights have put a lot of detail into this aircraft, and it does show. Whilst many developers use textures to show panel gaps and other small features on the body, Just Flight went to town with their 3D model, especially the bump maps. Each panel is also defined with bolts being raised and the detailed shaping of the undercarriage. The exhaust vent on the front of the aircraft is also animated to add a vibration when the engine is running. The doors on the aircraft are gull wing, meaning that they open upwards instead of sideways. The rear cargo hatch also opens, and minor details such as shock absorbers are also animated. The TB-10 and TB-20 come with 6 liveries each, based on real-world aircraft. This in total makes for 10 general aviation liveries and 2 blank textures for the aircraft. Each texture has been created in 4K resolution and fits the 3D model extremely well. As mentioned before, a repaint kit has also been provided, which allows the users to create their own liveries in programs such as Adobe Photoshop or GIMP. The amount of detail in the interior is also quite exceptional. Both the 3D modelling and textures are incredibly realistic, so much so that a screenshot could pass off as a photograph. The gauges are 3D and mimic their real-life counterparts as well. To get an idea of the detail put into this aircraft, the screws that hold the panel together are modelled to include the head of them, as opposed to just a flat texture which is generally used. Fingerprints and other marks also line the panels. As many users know, Coronado are the masters when it comes to high quality light aircraft packages, but I have to say that in this case, Just Flight's model tops even their usual high quality. I do also like the checklist positioned on the roof of the cockpit. This was clearly laid out and easy to read. Had it been a lower quality texture, it would have been stretched, blurry and rather useless. It is also worth mentioning that there is no 2D cockpit despite all the mini 2D panels included. For a relatively small aircraft with no advanced systems, Just Flight did a great job in making almost every switch in the aircraft clickable. On the top left of the screen, there is also a menu displaying some extras which have been included. These include a power switch, which toggles the aircraft from cold and dark to operative, a checklist GUI, a flight computer full of useful stats and information of the aircraft, a logbook which the user can edit and input their own data into, and a tow bar allowing the user to move their aircraft on the ground. Sounds in my opinion are a little poor however. Yes, they are high quality recordings, but the sampled engine sounds for both aircraft are identical. Some of the loops are also way too short. For example, the battery loops every 3 seconds and gives an audible change in pitch when it does. The sounds however are from a third party source, Turbine Sound Studios, which takes recordings from airports and air shows, then converts them into sound packages for flight simulator aircraft. The flight dynamics for the aircraft also feel authentic. The SOCATA TB family of aircraft are not the most nimble, but they are definitely fun to fly once you are aware of its limitations. One thing I did notice however is that the aircraft does not like to pitch down. Even with the false trim, the aircraft refuses to face down, which could become problematic on a fast descent. In fact, the trim does very little to the control surfaces in the first place. Overall, I do like this aircraft. The model looks good and the dynamics of it are both realistic and authentic. The sound may be a letdown, but with any luck, Just Flight may address this in the future. If you are looking for a high quality aircraft suitable for flying in VFR, then Just Flight's TB-10 Tobago and TB-20 Trinidad is a worthy addition to your hangar and is worth every penny.